stuff only gets deeper and deeper here on the Coyote News Rock Network, babies. The Coyote... I can't even get it right myself. The Coyote Netrock News right here on the Coyote Medicine Show, only on the Hazy Radio Network. Another news bulletin, another news flash. Oh my God, this is the end, people. Cover your backside right now. Sit on your hands immediately, because you won't believe the news now. Oh my goodness, it's just the Queen. I mean, well... the old bride herself has come forward, you know, with an olive branch in her hand, you know, exactly as the British would be when the Queen Mother, of course, don't you see. Indeed, and she has politely pointed out to all participants involved, the Chinese, the Japanese, the Alaskans, the Canadians, and the Americans, just in case they're wondering, you know, she has politely pointed out that she and the Vatican share a common title to all of the so-called lands that people are attempting to foreclose on. And she'll see you at 3 o'clock for tea, thank you very much, don't you see? I mean, and of course, that puts an end to it right there. You know, the British have the rule here, and of course we all honor and acknowledge that, of course, in conjunction with the Vatican. What a perfect coalition. How polite of her to reveal such a thing at this critical stage of the game, and therefore forestall World War IV from ever happening. Wasn't she a sweet old chick? I tell you what, she should appear naked in public all the time just to bless us with the graciousness of her beatific beauty, don't you think? I mean, not too many people can carry a body around like that and keep it hidden so well. You know what I mean? This is one of the most bodacious bodies in the universe. You've never seen lizard scales. You've never seen skin that shines so bright in the great daylight, I'll tell you. So the old Queen Mother, she's got it just right. But, oh, here's another little development just coming into my desk now. Oh, goodness. The bullshit gets deeper and deeper here on the Coyote News Netrock. Oh, my goodness gracious. That tiny little country kind of north and east of Milan, you know, it's kind of a little love nest cradled by the mountains that surround it, you know. Just a tiny, I think it's 200 square miles or something. It ain't very damn big. But this tiny little nation, Slovenia, it's called. S-L-O-V-E-N-I-A, just in case you can't understand English, you know, or Americanese. Slovenia, you know, this tiny little country has quietly, of course, our correspondents don't let anything remain quiet for too long. Us coyotes make the foxes look tame, man, I'm telling you. This tiny little country, Slovenia, who really is going through an identity crisis and changing things inside of itself, and wants to drop the S off the front of its name and become known as Lavinia, you know, and of course going with that tradition, you know, and they are an ancient old country. They've been around since Attila the Hun and shit, I mean, you know, and they've never been attacked or bothered by anyone, because anybody that comes there, well, the women just rise up and, well, things happen and there is no war, you know. That's why it's called Lavinia now. It used to be called Slow Lavinia, but now it's just Lavinia. And this quiet little country that nobody ever messes with because, well, they have the most powerful women and the most powerful divine feminine energy on earth. We might as well just face it and accept that as a fact. You know, if you heard it here on the Coyote News Netrock, it's total truth. Of course, you know. We wouldn't bullshit you about anything because we're, you know, your next door neighbors and your friends. And don't forget, 1-800-INSTANT-KARMA. Don't let them pull it on you. Pull it on them before they do, okay? 1-800-INSTANT-KARMA, our proud sponsor here on the Coyote News Netrock. Oh, God, you never heard such news. You never heard such talk. That's why we call it the Coyote News Netrock. We got the inside scoop on the poop, man, and you can smell it because we radiate the smell, too. We're broadcasting bullshit bigger than you, man. I tell you what, we know exactly what to do. We're sitting here setting an example for those other little lame, tame little networks. What are the CNN, which is really Kowtow Network Incorporated or something like that? What's that other one? Oh, the foxy ones. Oh, yeah. The radicals. Yeah, yeah. Are they radical? God, they don't seem too radical to me, man. But they wouldn't know a news story if one walked up and bit him on the ass or even on the shoulder, man. You know, I don't think any of the people that work over there have made love to anything less than a telephone pole in their whole life. I mean, you know, their asses are all golden and their words are all truth. And, you know, we're just trying to help them, you know, polish it up a bit and learn a little better delivery and shit so they can really, if you're going to put bullshit out there, you know, tell everybody to be afraid, well, babies, you might as well do it in the Coyote way and let's have some fun with it, you know. Well, anyhow, now getting back off of the philosophical bent, forgive us, people, we are a little bit one-sided here, babies. We kind of tend toward the way of the heart. You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? Watch out now, don't talk to me like that. This heart can kill, you know. Been hanging around them government types too much, I think. Oh, wow. This correspondent needs a drink. So let's take one here out of our holy chalice of love, the sacred cup of MJ. You can only get this only and exclusively, you know, from thecoyoteclub.com, TheKoyoteklub.com. Oh, baby, she'll set you free. It's a natural high, babies, and you don't even... Oh, God, what a rush, man. Boy, I tell you what, things are getting high here at the Coyote News Netrawk today. Anywho, getting back to our current news story. The philosophical flashes we have here. It's just, don't worry, baby, we got it together. We got it together. It is the Coyote News Netrawk, you know, and... we can't help it if we have a few bad habits of, you know, exaggerating just a tiny bit. But we just reads them as we gets them, just like all the rest of the talking heads do. So here you go. Slovenia, this tiny little country north and east of Milan, Italy, in case you don't know where that is. Man, about 200 and... whoa, that's written in some kind of metric language. I can't understand that. Anyway, this tiny little place with the soul of grace, thank you very much, has volunteered to become the meeting place for all combatants in this particular repossessive attitude, you know, in other words, the Alaskans and the Chinese and the Japanese and, you know, the Queen and everybody else are going to, and the Americans, of course, because they don't like being left out, you know, they really don't. So we'll bring them all into this, you know, round table here for a little discussion that ain't Russian. Oh, we're going to bring them down, too. They've been strangely silent this morning. Not one dang thing out of Moscow. What's wrong with those people? Putin, get to hootin', will ya? Or get to tootin'. Maybe we need to get him tooted up, and then we'll have some news, because he'll have his finger on the button then for sure, and we'll have something to talk about, man. The tensions will be high, and the ratings will go through the sky, and oh my God, we'll just fly. The Coyote News Network will bury CNN. Oh, we're not that evil, though, really, people. We're kind, wonderful, honest, you know, brave, loyal, integritous little Girl Scouts. Yes, indeedy we are. Want to buy some cookies, baby? These will get you high. I mean, these are just really nice cookies. They have a love vibe. 1-800 get your cookies now. And we'll get them right out to you. Visa and MasterCard accepted. We don't take American Express or Discover. I'm sorry, man. Them things suck. And they charge you too much for that bullshit anyway, man. You know, so if you're going to get your cookies, get them like rookies and use your Visa or your MasterCard, okay? That's the Coyote News Netrawk for the moment. We'll be back with continuing developments as they're happening, because I highly suspect that little love in your country, I think they're up to something here. I think they're spiking the punch in some way. So it'll be some interesting developments in this breaking story here in the next few minutes, I'm sure, man. But the whole world is on edge and looking now, the whole entire earth and all the media looking at this tiny little love in your country, man. Lavinia, Lavinia, oh, please save us. Thank you very much. Thank you so very much. The Coyote News Netrawk on the Coyote Medicine Show on the Hazy Radio Network loves you so very much. Thank you. darlings, the next and the one before that, too, if you don't mind, please step aside. Let your old grandpa take a ride. Oh, we in the flow, we on the road. Here on the Coyote Medicine Show this morning, or what, baby? We're carefree and happy to be right here, on the Hazy Radio Network. Babies, the rockinest network around, hazyradio.com. We got it on, babies, here on the Coyote Medicine Show. And yeah, of course you want to stay divinely in tune. After we complete our little journey here in about an hour or so, there'll be another 2 fun-filled hours of cosmic awareness and, divine arisings and awakenings and shit like that on our beautiful little Cosmic Heart radio show coming up. You heard the mystery of the Raven and the Coyote right there in that little promo just a few moments ago, man. Well, you know what a mystery's going on there, what a divine history that mystery must be, man. So you better come over there and help us unravel all this stuff. Wow, it's all been quite the land, quite the sea, quite the life. Oh, right there inside of you and me too, we are coming back together again, all of us, don't you see? Inside we felt quite divide. I mean, a really wide divide for quite some time, like the Gulf of Mexico from one side to the other. Not even to speak of the Grand Canyon, which is spread pretty wide too, but not as wide as that, baby. Oh my goodness, that was a wide one, And so our personality kind of split in two way back when, when we didn't know what else to do, and it kind of fractured, and some people become assholes, and some people become yahoos, and some became scalawagadoos, and some became good-hearted folks who love you and wanted to care for you and help each other out. And, gradually the thing just kind of grew into this shaggy old mess. And one day we come along and sheared it and wove a whole bunch of really beautiful tapestry out of all that divine experience, and just refined it into the greatest work of art ever there was ever to live, man. And here we are living in that living work of art right now. Our very own little glittery golden place in it, our very own little thread, bringing us along through the massiveness of this gigantic creation. It's almost unfathomable. You see, in your real heart you set yourself free. You don't need to carry the unraveling of the mystery to see it. You're already free. Just be. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to be anything. You don't even have to particularly feel anything. Just give yourself a moment in time for releasing, for letting go, You've always felt like you've had to have control, but have you ever had control, ever in your life? Not once. And that's what the mystery's proven to you right now. As you go through the motions of life, that you never could control it. You thought you had it perfectly under control. You thought you had the whole mess arranged just right. Didn't you? And then it come kind of falling in you a step at a time, man. And then all of a sudden it's a windfall. It's a landfall. It's a waterfall. But you took a shower and you came out of it clean, see? So nobody really got hurt. There was a momentary pain and some real distraction and destruction and shit, but just for a moment. And it was gone. And it's part of the past now. And that stuff never coming back. It. It's over with. It's history. You don't have to worry about anything that happened in the past, and you don't have to dwell there any longer, no matter what it could be. It's time just to let it go and just let it be. If you're not comfortable with it, fine. Let it be. Go back there and be uncomfortable there, not here. Just let it go. That is not then. That is then. This is now. Gosh, I'm stumbling a little bit, ain't I? Yeah. Kind of having a good time this morning, though. I hope you enjoyed the Coyote News Netrawk, babies. And, we'll break in with any further developments in that dynamic story as we continue the adventure of truthful news, man, and views from, the divine paradise, the divine source. Of course we're connected because the KNN is infected with love. The talking heads that speak from the heart. That's who we are, and that's where we start, and that's just the way it is, because Walter Cronkite said so, long ago, and even in the moment of now, it's Grandpa who's taking up those reins now. How about that, man? Next thing you know, we're going to worship the cow. Well, why not, man? Shoot, she's content. We can make a golden one. They're real pretty out here. Oh, the practice of the divine infection of misdirection. I think it's creeping into the Coyote Medicine Show. You gotta be wary. You gotta be strong. You gotta listen to your heart, because it's gonna sing the next song, and the one after that, and the one after that, and the one after that. Yeah, it's a great big old sing-along today. That's what we be saying. Hey, hey, hey. Sing along this way, and I'll give you the most complicated tunage you ever heard. You stretch your tonsils till you ain't got any, man. No, I wouldn't do that to you. But I sure could fool you. I do love doing that. I do love speaking through the harmonic heart of the music. And you notice how sometimes we cover rather a broad range momentarily in our tunage, expressage of tunage. Well, babies, that's because sometimes it's just so poetically ironic. I call it sardonetry, but it makes you chuckle, makes you happy inside, makes you laugh when you see the two sides of the same penny and shit like that. In musical form, it's fun, man. So I just love sometimes to provide that contrast, and other times it just goes in a certain direction, it takes a flow all its own, and the heart just flows with it, man. What was written so long ago got magic little codes inside of it. They were hidden away. I mean, even the people that created them didn't know they were doing it. I mean, that's how hidden it really was. But they got in there just the same, man, and now they're coming out, and there's no way you can edit them out or anything, because they're not interpretable except on the heart level. And if you interpret it at the heart level, you got the message, and you ain't going to go taking no message out, because everybody else needs to receive it too. See? That's the magic that we're revealing here. Now that's a news breakage, if ever there was one. There we go. We got tunage, and now we got news breakage on the Coyote News Netrawk. Boy, that one's kind of stumbles off the tongue still. I'm going to work on developing some softness in that. The Coyote News Netrawk. Yeah, there we are. We're the classy one. We're the NPR. Of the mystical realm, yeah. The Coyote News Netrawk. You will be dignified when you listen in, and you will not assault the radio dial until the completion of at least this program to which you are now tuned in, and you will follow the instructions correctly and directly as we give them here, with a little soft music behind it. Usually it's orchestrated by Bach or somebody like that, because we like to be highbrow and snootish, It makes everybody feel cool when they tune in, you see, because then they can be highbrow and snootish too, and we can all smoke crooked little pipes and, look like Shirley and Sherlock Holmes together as one, I mean, shit, why not? Oh, jeez. I'd rather be an Apache, thank you very much, and drive an old Model T that has, just like, Granny's Miata there, man. Well, son of a gun, if I had me what I'd like really is a Model A pickup with a rumble seat back there. I like those, with a flathead V8 in it. And a 4 on the floor, of course, but, it's got to have an overdrive behind that so we can really kick it up there and fly, Oh, and if it went, any less than, well, what hers does, she can do 18,000 on takeoff. Imagine what she does dancing across the sky. Well, I want my Model A to be well, then again, I don't know. First of all, I know I can't keep up with her. And secondly, wow, that's a little fast for the likes of me. I love to go fast, but that's just off the charts, man. So I think I'll keep it down around 600, 700, 800, maybe 10,000 once. Well, yeah, then when you're, flying across stars, of course, Mach 2 and Mach 3 and all that shit, why not, man? Just shift them gears, get with it, Mr. Sulu. This is the program, man. We don't even feel speed out there because, it's vast, and so there ain't speed, really. And there really ain't the distance. We're just warping our way through little curves in that fabric of the weaving of time, following those little time tunnels. And they're really not time, they're really not distance, but we just follow that little weaving, and that gets us there, That's how you travel when you're doing Mach 5 and all that shit. Well, that's what Commander Coyote told me, and that's me in an alternate reality. You know, I played Gene Hackman as the starship captain of the Starship Enterprise. Gene Hackman was far better than that other guy. What's his name? The dude from Canada? Can't even remember. His name was Gene too, or was that the guy that wrote the whole thing up? Gene somebody or another. But anyway, yeah, Gene Hackman. I played Gene Hackman playing Captain Kirk. That's what it was. Yeah, Gene Hackman. Coyote, Grandpa Coyote, in the mystical realm of attachments, we became Gene Hackman, who was an actor playing the part of Captain Kirk in a remake, of course, another time, of the Star Trek movie, of course, And I'm a bald-headed guy, too, Captain Kirk lost his hair, But he's fuzzy around the edges just like me. They tried to get me into makeup and get me to, fluff out a little bit. I said, screw you guys, if I'm out in space floating around. Listen, I haven't had a shower in 13 days, man. I'm going to look like hell. I've been busy on the panel, taking care of not only our travel through the time tunnel and all that shit, but the angels right along with us and everybody else. Hey, dudes and dudettes, I've been busy, man. I ain't got time for makeup, Shit, I just have to appear as I am naturally, Now get out of my way and let me help Sulu do this thing right, okay? And then there's Mr. Spock along, but that's really, I got to tell you, that's Sally Struthers playing, a boy role again. She likes doing that, It's kind of fun. Well, I mean, we're multi-gender. Who gives a shit, really, man? Whatever you want to be today, that's what we're going to be. Because it's the spaceship love, right? I mean, the Starship Enterprise, right? And it's Gene Hackman playing, Captain Kirk. Through Coyote's energy, man. Now, God, wouldn't that be a movie, babies? Let's see if we can really achieve that. Well, God, if we dreamt it into being, there's a movie for you, man. I think I just set us all free, man, just by being Captain Kirk and Gene Hackman all at the same time. Ooh, but I did love the chase scene. Ooh, 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 in the French Connection, And also, what was the other one where Steve McQueen went flying over them same said hills? Bullet, yeah, Bullet. Oh, man, his green Dodge Charger. Steve McQueen. He was the king of hot-roddedness back in his day. He was the short little dude that was cool as all get out, man. He had the best cars, the fastest bikes, and all that shit, and nobody could jump a fence like he could on a motorcycle. A clunky old World War II pre-Harley kind of thing. I mean, still had a gear shift on the side of it. It didn't have a foot gear shift. It had a stick gear shift like a car would, or a truck back in those days. And he jumped the fence, and this thing probably weighed 800, 900 pounds, It's pretty doggone good doing, I tell you. And he really, in reality, he performed his own stunts. Steve McQueen was the dude, man, in his day. And one of my favorite movies, and if you ever get a chance to see it, it's just enchanting. It just came along, I think 69 was the year. But it was one of those years I was working in the theater business, and, so I got to be exposed to all these new movies. And wow, it was called The Reivers, Reivers. I think it was based on a Mark Twain or something. It's about life down along the river in a sense, but it's also Steve McQueen being this, wow, super cool dude, and some really sweet, I'm not going to give it away, but some really sweet things happen there. It's called The Reivers, and it stars Steve McQueen, and wow, and it's circa 69 or so, 69, 68, somewhere in there when it was first released. I think it's an MGM even. Or maybe it was a Paramount. Hell, I can't remember. Paramount, that's what I'm hearing. So it's probably a Paramount production. So there's a way to look it up. I don't know. Sometimes you can find these things on YouTube, and they are so darn cool, But The Reivers will take your heart away. It really will. It's just one of those movies. Right from the first frame, it's just really good, You don't find many like that, especially these days, You waste your time looking around for movies these days. There's so much crud and so little, just fun stuff even, But I find a little of it here and there, man. Despite all it's kind of like all the movies have become like TV used to be, and it's like, so instead of, TV rising its standards up a little bit and becoming more like the movies were, having some quality and spending some money on and some time making these films and so forth, these programs they present. Well, it's gone the other way around, and the movie industry's kind of devolved to the level of television, except, of course, for the tribe of the independent producers, which, don't have the restrictions of having to prove budgets to the accounting departments and so forth, and don't need to authorize scripts and all that kind of horse shit. Go out and make a movie on a script they write as they go along, That's where the creativity is in this reality, and that's why the Sundance Film Festival has gotten so big back there in my old home country of Utah. When Park City, this is an aside, when Park City was a tiny little town, it was kind of a ghost town. It used to be a boom town, and I'm talking 60-something. I can't remember what years that particular was, but it's 60-something, 1960-something. That I was there, and I've just by chance wound up, taking a position with this restaurant there as a busboy and a dishwasher. I did it for like 3 months, and then they fired me for getting drunk on the job, But I couldn't understand why it was all right for the chef to get drunk on the job, but if the dishwasher wanted to get drunk on the job too and just enjoy himself, that wasn't cool. I couldn't quite get that one down, so I lost my job because of my lack of the depth of understanding of the basic and essential rules in society. Busboys are not to be seen nor heard. Dishwashers do not exist. Just make sure they get clean, okay? And don't you dare touch any marijuana or any alcohol while you're working for us, okay? We know it's all over the place. Go get whatever you want, but don't do it when you're working for us. And I just couldn't quite understand such a simple little command as that, because I saw, the example of the chef. He's frying Chateaubriand, just broiling the hell out of that shit, man. Flames going everywhere and having a great time doing it. Chugging on a bottle of red wine on the other side of his mouth while he's doing that. And, throwing a little alcohol in the fire, too, man. It was awesome to watch this guy in motion. He was like pure poetry. It was a ballet, It really was. This dude had it down. You could tell it was a science with him. It was work of love, a scientific work of love. But he'd been doing that artfully like that since he was a kid. You could tell. And he was like 45 or 50 or somewhere in that neighborhood back in those days. Well, gosh, I had nothing but admiration for the guy, and I really honestly couldn't help but mimic his behavior. He liked to drink on the job, so did I. I put Everclear in Coca-Cola so they wouldn't know the difference, and they finally figured it out and fired me anyway. Oh, such is the life of a coyote. You've only begun to hear little bits of it here and there, but the Coyote News Network will keep you ahead of that so you won't have to listen to much more, okay? Those stories are all getting old, man. We got to get on with the new shit now, man. The paradigm of the divine, is coming on like fine wine, We're popping the cork, man. This stuff is like this is like, no, you can't even put a number. It's millions and millions of dollars a bottle. That's how aged and treasured this fine wine is. But, if you want a sip of something similar, get yourself one of these little Mary Jane mugs from the KOYOTEClub.com, and wow, you will have an experience you'll remember, I'll tell you. Even if it's just plain old organic coffee, shade-grown, fair-traded, you're sipping from, baby. Babies, if wishes were horses, then beggars might ride. If wishes were food, well, my tummy would be satisfied. Goodness gracious. But how about we fulfilled them wishes? Who, in a very way that called nutritious, man, that comes from the heart, and began to live our life like living art. Because that's what we've been doing all along. We just couldn't see. We didn't know. That's what we be. The painter with the brush in his hand. The director with the movie. Etc., man. We had it all. And didn't even know it. Except now we're beginning to show it. There's a little panic amongst the earth beings as this new paradigm comes into being, which is really us just returning to our really commonsensical place of being, where we're really happily in love with one another forever and ever, and with all of creation as a result. And we see this creation more as a part of ourselves than we do as something apart from ourselves. Not at all. Everything is more than connected. Everything in this life is divine. The life is what unites us. It's symbolized, in our navel goes back to that original mother, but it goes back to what? The original life. The life from which all of creation springs forward, you see. This is where we're united. That's the one love that lives in everything, let alone everyone. This is why it's such an insane idea that we should fight and kill one another over disagreements in philosophy. Or even worse, for the mighty dollar, and using the philosophy as an excuse for anyone to make money, to earn, big bucks off of other people's misery. I don't know if I can handle that too well. Can you? I mean, babies, I think that'll weighs all through, don't you? I think, those that have done that now have a little more than undoing to do, don't they? I think they ought to just get out and, join the rest of us and just live and be a human for a change. Yeah, find out what that feeling's like. It might be kind of strange. You have real feelings. You have real emotions. You can be fickle. You can be a flake. You can be the greatest heart there ever was. And you can be any combination thereof. But you can allow yourself to be whatever it is your heart wants you to be, in whatever role you happen to be playing in this life right now. It's your game, baby. And you get to love your way through it, you see. That's the whole reality. If that's a new reality, well, forgive me, baby. I don't see anything new about that other than we're finally embracing it. We've all known it since, God, we were tiny kids. We've all known that was here this time around. We knew it. It just was in our bones. It was more than genetic and, more than science could ever measure, man. It was there, just this awareness that man, something's going to happen this lifetime and it's going to be spectacular. And I'm a part of it. And I freaking love it. Yet, we had to keep it undercover, hide, before you take the big ride, right? Well, guess what, lovers? We come out from under the covers, man, and we can party nakedly now, babies. No more covering over anything. Just expose it all. You understand what I mean, Jelly Bean? Now, I'm not advocating running around in the streets naked just yet. There'll be a time for that at some point, I'm sure. But what I am recommending is bearing your soul, your heart. Letting that energy flow. This glow that you've got inside right now, just let it grow and grow and grow. Give yourself some nurturing time. Some incubation time, as you will. Just get off in some kind of incubator somewhere and sit still for a few moments in time and close your eyes and gather it within yourself. And wrap your arms, your inner arms around this warm love that's just blossoming like crazy inside, and embrace it and enhance it. Say, yes, this is what I've always wanted. This is what I've needed at the core of my soul since the day I became human. The reunion with life. The awareness of life living within you, not only that, flowing from you into creation, babies. The maximum love that would be such a being. And would allow himself to be so misled that they thought themselves to be dead. Yet they are living. And they're not gone anywhere. We're still here. Yes, indeed, babies. And not only that, we're fucking rocking, man. Watch out, world. Here comes the heart. Awakening in the mass of humanity. Isn't that fun? Holy cow, babies. If it gets any better than this, well, we're all going to do the twist. Chubby Checker says so. He's hiding out there in the green room waiting his turn, but I don't know if I'll let him on today or not, Twist again like we did last time. Oh, babies, I just glanced over here to the cards and just remembered it's time to draw our medicine cards for the day. Now, we got two decks that we play with here. And one's the angel deck that I've had for a long time and I've used occasionally here and there. And it's always been kind of a useful little tool in my hand when I needed a little clarification or something. I'd toss a few cards down and angels would talk to me. And it's like, oh, okay. And once in a while I'd get somebody that really couldn't connect directly, so I'd use a card or two to help them understand what was really going on, etc. So this deck's been around, got some really good energy in it, seen some miraculous moments, and I'm shuffling it up right now, right here in front of you, man, right in front of the microphone here at the Spaceship Love, 9,000 feet high in the Rocky Mountain sky, babies. Here it is that you take off and fly. That's all this is takeoff point, babies. And we are what? Poised for takeoff like crazy now, you know? Just royally poised for takeoff. It's that one right there, isn't it? Yeah, okay, I got you. All right. Ooh. Spirituality. On the spiritual life, all paths lead to the same place. Well, isn't that what we've been saying all along this morning? You know, isn't that what we've been living in? You know, in the spirit, everything flows in the same direction, and we all come to the same places at the same time. And we're actually all doing it together. Yes, indeed. Hey, we'll get the running around naked thing done next summer, I think. Maybe right out there in Washingtonia. I don't know. Who knows? I don't like to party in that town. It's too urbanized around there, man. There is no escape. But if we could meet there, let's say at the Washington Monument in July, and just, you know, commune that energy. I mean, just, you know, join hands and circle after circle after circle around that old Washington Monument, that big old white penis in the sky. That's what it is, baby. It's, you know, it's the mighty one. You know, that's what it symbolizes, at least for some people anyway. Others just kind of snicker and they know better. Oh, darling, the symbolic poetry, it's so great. But anyway, we could do that. It's never too late. You know, and just sit there and radiate love and shoot the whole town and turn out mellow. The cops would all, you know, fall over asleep or dead. Whatever the case may be, whatever they want to be. In that moment, they sure as hell wouldn't be attacking anybody anyway or locking people up. Neither would the soldiers with the big Tommy guns. Nobody would mess with us. We'd walk right in there, sit down, do our business. This whole town would change. But, you know, we don't have to be there to do that either. We can do that symbolically from anywhere. You know, mystically, you know, we just work in the realm where life is truthfully created, you see. We don't have to submit ourselves to the horrors of the 3D in order to get done what we need to do, you see. Because we live in creation, man. That's what we're becoming aware of in our nakedness inside. In our embrace of that nakedness, of the reality, the truth coming forward in us, in other words. We're embracing the truth by embracing what we feel inside of ourselves. And this is what makes us real, and this is the real deal. So, again, I point out to you, we don't have to go to D.C. to change the place. We don't have to go anywhere to affect the outcome of this entire earth, except for right where we are, right now, wherever that may be. That's sufficient. You know, and in this united way, this unified way, if our intentions are for everything to get mellow and everybody to chill out and, you know, just get along and be happy about it, well, darlings, that's what's going to come into being, because that's the power of love in motion. Speaking of which, I got to go let my little doggy in here for a second, so I'm going to entertain you with just a little bit of Quicksilver Messenger service, and Grandpa'll be right back here with a little more to go here on the Coyote Medicine Show, only on the Hazy Radio Network. You want to stay tuned a little bit later at high noon today, Eastern Time. The Raven and I get together for the Cosmic Heart Radio Show. Oh, goodness gracious. That'll get you in the flow, don't you know? Hey, babies, thanks for being here, and we'll be right back. Yeah, who do you love, and why do you love them? And how do you love them? How about that, huh? You betcha. Get yourself a little cup of coffee refill. I think I'll grab mine while I'm underway here, too. Right here on the Coyote Medicine Show. We know how to go, baby. Just coffee. Evermore. That's it. Coffee, coffee, coffee. You're going to want to join the Coyote Coffee of the Month Club here pretty soon. Over there on the KoyoteClub.com. I'll pretty soon have that set up. And we be shipping the finest of coffees and the funnest of mugs and the safest of drugs to you right there through the U.S. mail, babies. Legally, of course. We ain't going to ship you no pot. If that's what you're thinking. But next best thing to it, that Mary Jane mug, the official Coyote Club Mary Jane mug. Mary Jane, the gateway to paradise, babies. You got to have one of these, you know, or two of them, baby. Whatever. Hey, by the way, those of you that ordered, I'm shipping them out today. I got to get my butt to town. You know, I just have trouble getting around to things sometimes, you know. Geez, I'm just a busy guy. But, oh, we love you, silly, and thank you so much for it. And, babies, we'll get them right out to you, man. The minute you order them, we get on them, you know. It might take a few days to get them mailed sometimes, because I just don't get to town that often, so I mail them all at once, you know. We love you out there, baby, and we're just trying to help you out while you help us out. A little sip from the MJ mug. Oh, and you're on your way, babies. Talk about get you high. That's a little toke that'll make you fly. Speaking of which, in the tradition of, we must continue our wake and bake. Yes, absolutely. So we had our wake right there with a sip off the OMJ mug. Here we go with a little toke on some smoke. Righteous herb grown in the mountains, baby. Oh, yes. Now that's an attitude improvement immediately, babies. And a few flakes of grain down my throat here, so I better take another little sip off the coffee mug here so I can save myself from the scratchiness of an itchy throat. Boy, that's some good weed. It's some I grew myself a couple of years ago. It's the last of it, you know. Oh, man, it's tasty. Yeah. Got a nice, mellow, heart-opening buzz to it, you know. I find this true across the plant kingdom altogether, that you get what you give there, too. You know what I mean? If you like what you're doing, if you enjoy, you know, working your plants and working the soil and watching them grow and things like that, man, they'll become so prolific, you know. Some people even play, you know, music to them, you know. Me, I'd have to play rock and roll, man. I'd have the rockinest plants around. But even though I came from like an agricultural thing, I've never been that into it. I mean, I know it and I can do it, but, you know, I'm still just learning to love things and more. Thank you, baby. I appreciate that. These chicks just keep walking by whistling at me. I don't know what it is, you know. I'm just a skinny little run of a man, you know, and I'm all worn out and, you know, decrepit, you know. I mean, I live in an easy chair, you know, and I fly a spaceship, you know. Maybe that's it. They always want to get spaced with me. That's what it must be. Oh, baby, we love you, silly. You know, we can't help but having a little fun with it, because that's what it's got to be. If it ain't fun, it ain't worth doing, hun. I've always had that motto in my life, no matter what it was I was doing, you know. That's what got me in the movie business as a kid. Now, I did not be an actor. I should have been. And I was just too shy to do it back then. Besides, I couldn't act my way out of a wet paper bag, man, you know. I just had one of those eyes of mine always told on me, you know. I couldn't get away with lying. I tried a few times when I was a kid. Shit, I couldn't get away with nothing, you know. I could be a little deceptive. I had to be to get away with the good stuff. But, I mean, the silly stuff that kids always do and shit, I couldn't get away with nothing, man. I couldn't lie my way out of a wet paper bag. You know what I mean? It just doesn't work for me, you know. So I kind of had to accept that early on and, you know, kind of live. Oh, babies, we got the animal cards here up now. And, you know, the old Coyote's been our company since yesterday anyway, you know. And so today we're going to draw a new one. But bless you, Coyote. Thanks for being there, man. That was a rockin' message you sent us yesterday. And we really appreciate it, you know. Because we've been running on your energy ever since. Try that one there. That feels pretty good, doesn't it, angels? Okay. I do declare. Okay, we got the dolphin today, man. It's with the dolphins we play, and it's playfulness. Take time to play. Oh, baby. Now, isn't that, you know, you can combine that with spirituality. Let me get this one back up here. Yeah, here we are. All right, spirituality. This is the angel cards. On the spiritual life, all paths lead to the same place. And the dolphin says, be playful on your paths, man. You know, shoot, recognize the fun in it. You know, it's just what we were just talking about. Having a good time with whatever comes your way. Baby's making the best of it. And the best way to do that I know of is to see what's really going on. Then you can laugh genuinely, because it's funnier than hell, man. It's the coyote way. It's the coyote medicine in life. It's just there. And it's everywhere we go and everything we do, man. That's just how it is. You know, we call it coyote medicine because that's the animal most descriptive of it, you see. But it's really just, you know, the eternal sardonic joke. It's a little bit wry. It's a little bit, ironic. But it's tremendously, when you see the fullness of it, releasing. You know, it's a belly laugh that's made in paradise, man. You know, it'll make even old Buddha laugh. I mean, can you see that jelly belly rolling? Well, it'll get his a-rolling, hers a-rolling too, man, whatever she might have been. Be still, forever free, babies. That's us, that's you, that's me. That's all of us in this human dynamic. Taking our steps, yeah, and I know, I felt that panic earlier, you know, and it's like at the same time, I felt humanity embracing the panic and releasing it. Because they knew the heart was there for real. You know, and it's not something we're just imagining. We create through imagination, so in that sense, yes. But it's a deeper form of imagination than what we've been exposed to before. It's the reality of truth we sense when we're living life right there on the edge. You know, but it's going beyond even that edge, right into it. The real life. The place where creation is formed and placed into being. Yeah, see, that's where we truthfully live. That's our heart's dynamic. And that's how, ooh, baby MJ, you are on my way. That's how I can safely say that all are in it today, and we got to play. That's all there is to it, you know. Play, play, play. You know, shit, maybe we should get naked. I mean, well, it's too doggone cold most places right now, especially here. You know? I went out there to get the dog and froze my ass off, man. Now I ain't got nothing to sit on. Oh, no, the donkey ran away. That's what I mean. He's so froze, man. He just fell over, poor kid. See what I mean, Jelly Bean? We can have some fun with this if we'll just let ourselves be. And it's really just seeing, you know, lightening up in life. And the laughter releases you. It really does. It's a spiritual thing, man. Beyond anything you've ever known. You know, that's why people pay money to go see stupid comedians. Well, there are some really gifted ones. There I go, being all highly judgmental again. Good grief. See, we all got room for improvement, man, alive. It's so automatic sometimes I can't believe it. You know, it just pops right out of you when you ain't looking, you know. Oh, if I get these cards in alignment now and get them set up just right. There we go. Dolphin and spirit, baby, they are together today. Of course, they always are. Dolphin is one of the more spirit animals, ain't it? It's probably far more intelligent than the bulk of humanity. A single dolphin has the whole intelligence of humanity and then some. Well, at least up until now. Now we're starting to catch on. It really is time, babies. It really is. And so why not, you know? Embrace the feeling, be the love, be the life. Be the happy little dolphin. Man, I seen this video yesterday, just briefly, but boy, there's a whole school of them dancing around this guy's boat as he's cruising along about half mile offshore over there on the west coast somewhere. Amazing stuff, babies. They are playful things. I don't know if you've ever seen, like, whales, too, man. I remember being on a ferry boat one time up in Washington, and the so-called killer whales were swimming ahead of us, man, porpoising around like a porpoise would. It was beautiful, man. See these big old fish playing like that. Now, they're not as huge as like the big gray whales, whatever they call those, I forget, but those are pretty impressive. Those are as big as a doggone ferry boat nearly, you know, maybe even a little bigger, you know. They're huge, man. That gives real definition to F-I-S-H, and it's not even a fish from what they tell us. But it lives in the sea, so we got to accept that it is. Just like Captain Ahab. Sooner or later, you meet your fate. Only this time, it ain't too late. It's right on time. This time, it's a step not into hell, but into the divine. Because the hell has delivered us. to heaven's gate. Just as it's designed to be. That's what it's designed to do, you know. Hell is designed to make such activities so unacceptable that you'll never live that way again in any part of creation, anywhere throughout all of creation. The universe and way beyond her, right through the tree of life, man. Quite an amazing place to be at this moment in human history. And to be sitting here, you know, on the old Coyote Medicine Show, just letting it flow. You know, just letting us come together. As a little oracle that I am, you know, I assemble everybody out there listening, all your energies coming in here. And, you know, coming right back to you in music and word and energy, primarily. Radiating love from 9,000 feet high here in the Rocky Mountain sky. You got that kind of hairy old guy, old Grandpa Coyote, helping you take off and fly. And now you're starting to find out why, babies. You know, you've been hanging around the back door for way too long and been made to use the side entrance more than once, right? Well, no more of that shit, babies. Now you step up. They roll out the red carpet. The gracious, you know, key of love is handed to your hand and placed in your heart. And you can have anything you want, anywhere you want, anytime you want. Because you are the mother of love, the princess of life, the royalty of the family of life. Those from which life extends itself into being and fulfills its purpose too. Divine vessels and vehicles, each and every one of us, we human beings, we human hearts, that are genuine and real and live and feel. Yes, indeed, babies. We have learned to manage feelings, emotions, passions, that at first just took us for a ride we couldn't even begin to comprehend. You know, man, it's taken a long time for humanity to get over the shock of those early days and those first passions, let me tell you. And now we've learned to be real creative with them. You know, our darker times have brought us right to our lighter times. Again, hell has delivered us right to paradise's gates, man. And they're open. You know, St. Peter ain't nowhere to be found. There's no judgment here, man. You just come on in. Let's party. You know, beach is right over there, baby. Nude beach on down a ways for those of you that are comfortable with that already. Oh, we got that on the mind today, too, man. Ooh, it's probably this winter weather make me yearn a naked beach again, man. There's nothing quite as real as being there with the ocean, you know, in a very friendly place. I can't do it anywhere else. If the environment's the least bit hostile, I won't do it. But if I'm in a friendly place where the vibe's right and, you know, the population's not that great, well, shit, yeah, man, it feels great, you know. The earth, wind, ocean, sand, oh, God. The breeze between your knees, man, it's a blessing. The sun on your hide, oh my goodness. What a major, major blessing. And, you know, when everyone's like that, then the old pettiness, you know, the old kind of stuff is out the window. We're just, you know, accepting each other in a very divine way at a very simple level. You know, and just being okay with all of that, you know. And because you can't be otherwise. It's uncivilized. You see? And I think that's pretty much the heart energy taking over. When humans get naked with one another, not for sexual purposes, but just to hang out and be natural with everything, you know, together, I think that's like decloaking the whole 3D reality in a sense, because that's raw and real, you know. I mean, I've always said, sitting here in my little philosopher's chair for a moment, I've always said that humanity would be far better off if we all could somehow run around naked all the time. I mean, you know, who could take serious a fat politician then? Especially, you know, if he's ill-equipped, etc. You know, I mean, the real persons would be there no matter what, you know. Well, people care about themselves a whole lot more than they do because they wouldn't be able to cover it up. Everything would be out there raw and real and natural. And the big old sex game be out the window. Wouldn't be any all these game playing, man, because everybody be simple, real, and natural with one another, you know. And, I mean, you couldn't entice somebody with what's there all the time now, could you? I mean, think about it. It's a premise that I think's worthy of pursuing, because I think that's where we live in paradise. I think we're raw and real with each other there. then I don't think there's anything really sexual about it whatsoever, man. Other than that's an element in everything, of course. You know, it all goes together. Life is a singular flow. It just chooses lots of ways to express and experience itself. So it's all doggone cool. Oh, look at this one. Oh, I got to do that. But that'll be a minute or two yet. I did, you know, angels are pointing out songs to me while I'm sitting here talking to you. Strange how that works here, babies. We are live and spontaneous, by the way, here on the Coyote Medicine Show. Nothing is scripted, man. It just all comes from the heart, the one heart of love inside of you. And me being the oracle, I'm the heart inside of you, too, because that heart's inside of me, see? So we're just here setting each other free and having a damn good time doing it. You funky little dolphin energy, you. Oh, do we love you or what, man? I'm telling you. Well, yeah, we love you, but not in that objectified way. We love with the same love you love, too. That's our love, don't you see? Our life. And it's 1, 2, 3, 6, 20, 50, 100 billion. You know, I mean, it just exponentiates rather quickly once we start to take off the cloak inside and show the sweetness that we've always had to hide and the sensitivity that goes with it. And to be okay with that takes a little adjusting in, yeah, but when it comes from the heart, it's easy. It really is. You don't have, your mind doesn't have to be afraid anymore. Just let the heart take care of it. And if you don't understand what I mean, let me just say it this way. Go with the flow. There's a feeling inside that's very strong and powerful, very warm, kind of bright feeling right now. And it becomes like almost voices in your head. I mean, but there's a flow, a feeling, a direction that's very obvious to you in that feeling. When you kind of focus in that, that'll take you to these heartfelt places. That's in the flow. That's starting to go and glow with the flow. And to be in the flow of the river of life, so that you naturally fit in with the current and the stream of divine harmony, you know, and within the channels of love, we're directed toward the ocean of love, where we reunite with our entire family, all of creation, which emotes forward from the ocean forever and ever. Isn't it a fun little walk, a fun little journey? Or don't you just love this little beach party? Hey, it's Free Day Friday here on the Coyote Medicine Show, I just came to realize. How about that, guys? Wow. We are going to town right now, man. Put that thing in first gear and let that clutch out easy, and let's see where we go with this one, shall we?
We don't get fooled again.